Hi everybody, let's do this week's assignment. Here I've made a piece with two independent melodies. Notice how the lower melody is opposite the higher melody. It opposes the other either in durations or melodic direction. This is called counterpoint. And you see in this picture we've used two voices, a voice that has the stems up and a voice that has the stems down. We first learned to use two voices in our drum part making assignment. So we're going to start by creating a score and choosing treble clef. We're going to make sure duration, tempo, measure, repeat, and voice are checked in the tools menu, which is the three lines on the left of your screen. There's the three lines. Duration, tempo, measure, repeat, and voice. We're going to choose a key signature and a time signature in the measure tools. And we're going to make sure to select all, Control A, before you hit these buttons. Select all. Choose a key. I'm going to choose the key of B flat, which just means I'll be building all my melodies around the note B. And I'm going to choose a time signature. Choose something interesting and fun. I'm going to choose 5 quarter notes in my measure. OK. Now I'm going to title this Counterpoint 1, and I'm going to hit Save. And I'm going to change the tempo once I have some notes written in. Get a sense of how it should sound once I hear some notes. So, Counterpoint 1. I'll write my name in, and I'll hit Save. Now I'm going to make a stepwise melody, beginning and ending on the root of my key, on the letter B. I'm going to make it 3 or 4 measures in length. There can be some leaps. Okay, so I'm going to start by dividing up my measure into different fun fragments of time, different fractions. I'm just going to pick quarter note and then half note and then 16th notes and then I'm going to pick 8th note. I'm going to turn these into 2/16ths. And then I'm going to make another half, a couple eighths, and a quarter, and a quarter. And I'll just leave it 3 measures. Take that one away. Now I'm going to use my arrows and I'm going to add letters. Start on B. Use my right arrows so the durations stay the same. I'm just going to go up C, up to D, up to E. Gone up enough. I'm going to go back down. D, C, B. And keep going down. A, B, C, D, E, oops, E, F, E, D, C, B, A, G, A. And that'll be nice because what I'll do is I'll put a repeat and that A will go nicely back to B when it repeats by step. Let's hear what this sounds like. I like it pretty well. I think it could use to be a little slower. I'm going to select all, and I'm going to move it down to 108. See what it sounds like at 108. So that recipe of making it stepwise and making interesting durations really works. Sounds like music, I think. We're going to select the first measure and click Lower Voice from the Voice tools. And just like in our drum lesson, we can now make a second part in this staff. So let's try that. Click in the middle, select Lower Voice, and look at that. We have a whole rest, and we can cut up this whole rest into multiple fractions, just like we did before, and make another melody that plays in counterpoint to the first one we made. And you should pick rhythms that oppose the ones you've written. In this image here, it starts with a quarter note followed by 2/8 notes, and a quarter and 2/8 equal 1/2, which is the fraction I chose in the lower part. The next two are eighth notes in the upper part, and I opposed that with a quarter note. Then 4 more eighth notes, which I opposed with a half note. 4/8 equals 1/2. And then a quarter note, which I opposed with 2/8 notes. So now I'm going to go back to my composition. I'm going to look at the upper part and make some fractions that balance the upper part. So I see a quarter and 2/8, and I'm going to oppose that with a half. Then I see 2/16 and an eighth, and I'm going to leave that right how it is and oppose that with a quarter. And in fact, this next half note here is opposed by 2 quarter notes. That works really, really well, I think. Let's go to this measure, do the same thing. Lower voice. I have a quarter note and then a half note. Maybe I'll make 2/8 notes to oppose the quarter note, 2 quarter notes to oppose the half note, and maybe I'll make 1/2 note to oppose 16, 16, and eighth, make a quarter, eighth and 16 also make a quarter, 2 quarters make a half. So that'll be a nice opposition there. And then one more time, lower voice, 4 eighth notes that oppose that half note. I'm going to leave that quarter note to oppose those 2 eighth notes, and I'm going to make a half note to oppose the remaining quarter notes. Now go back and use my right arrow key to navigate and make another melody. We want to pick notes that harmonize well with the upper melody. So if you stacked notes above or below these notes and made chords like we have when we've harmonized, what would the notes in those chords be? So we're going to try to use those notes against the upper notes. And you can always use your ears and move notes up and down with arrows until you like the sound. You can do it completely by ear if you like. We also want, if possible, the lower melody to move in the opposite direction. So if you look at the last 3 beats of this graphic, these 2 eighth notes go down, these 2 go up. These 2 quarter notes go up, these 2 go down. the rhythm durations are the same, but the movement of the melody is opposite. So we're trying to pick nice harmonizing notes. We're trying to have rhythms that balance each other, but also voices that kind of move in beautiful opposite motion. So let's see if I can create something like that. So let's look at this B and let's make a chord on it. It might go with a D, it might go with an F, and if it was the upper voice of a chord, it might go with a G and it might go with an E. So I could choose an E or a G. I could actually choose another B, would be fine, or a D or an F. I'm going to choose the note F. Now I've got the note E, and I have the same type of choice. A C would go with it, an A would go with it, a G would go with it, a B would go with it. I think I'm going to pick an E because now, look, that has gone up, but I want it to go down. Now these are going to go down, so which direction do I want to go? I'd like to go up. So let's look at this note, this B, a D, an F, a G, an E. Let's try F again so we can go up by step. And then we're going to pick just a stepwise E right below it. Okay, so here's an A. Now this is, at this point, we might get into a sticky situation if we always have to keep everything stepwise, so don't worry too much about that if you get in trouble trying to do that and find good chord tones that work. A goes with C, A goes with E, A goes with F, A goes with D. This is moving down, so I'd like to move up, so I'm going to pick another F. And then I'm going to go G, and then F again. Actually, here, I'm going to do something tricky. I'm going to, because I want an E there against that C. So I'm going to skip here, but then I'm going to come up by step and make my E there. And I'm going to put another E, but I'm going to do something tricky. And I'm going to tie it. And let's move up a little bit. And I'm going to leap again to D, and I'm going to go E on that one. Let's hear what this sounds like. And we have a fun, playful, little, exciting piece. I did already change the tempo, and then I want to hit save. Okay, good luck making some counterpoint this week. Let me know if you have any questions. Thanks a lot. Talk to you soon.